So the US Department of Defense has just confirmed that this leaked video from 2019 is the real deal. Like a legitimate UFO, not from this planet. What's annoying me at this point is that they are basically saying intelligent life exists on other planets, but they're not just straight up saying it. I feel like this is them just trying to slowly ease us into it more and more by using words we're familiar with, like UFO. I think it's not going to be long now until they actually give us the real information.
Buckle up, because this is the most terrifying conspiracy theory I've ever talked about on this channel. And that is the theory that the world ended in 2012. Hear me out. We all know Stephen Hawking. There's this particle, and Stephen Hawking made a prediction that once this particle was discovered, the world could end. And sure enough, the particle was discovered in 2012. And a lot of people out there think that the world just seems very different than when it did in 2012 and before. And basically, when the world ended, when this particle was discovered, we were sucked into a different dimension. Which could be an explanation for the Mandela effect, because we're noticing all of these slight differences between this dimension and the one we were in before. I'm still shook over the fact that the Monopoly man never had a monocle, I swear he did. And while this sounds absolutely crazy, it is 2021, so anything could happen. What do you think?
The greatest conspiracy theories of all time are these fact or fiction we may never know. It's been 50 years since Neil Armstrong allegedly landed on the moon, but my sources tell me the US government, eager to beat Russia in the space race, faked the lunar landing. People in 1969 could barely watch TV without a 5-foot antenna. You think they're landing on the moon? Doubtful. Was JFK killed by the CIA, the KGB, the Mafia? Could be all of the above, or it could be none of the above. Did Jeffrey Epstein actually take his own life? Or was it the act of a few famous individuals he had compromising information on? Yes. Has the government suppressed information that reveals the Earth is actually a flat, infinite plane? Obviously not. Did the mysterious Malaysia Airlines flight just vanish into thin air? Or was it digitally hijacked by hackers who rerouted the plane to Antarctica? Your guess is as good as mine.
You screwed me over, but in me believing it was always something.
Are aliens actually demons? Let's talk about it. The man that you're seeing in this photo, his name is Aleister Crowley. He is known as one of the most wickedest men to ever live. He was an English occultist / Satanist in the early 1900s. He was in a whole bunch of cults, and he wrote a decent amount of books about witchcraft, black magic, and demons. Throughout his life, Aleister Crowley has done many occult rituals to try and contact the fallen ones and demons. One of these demons actually manifested themselves to Crowley in the physical form. The demon's name was Lamb, and Aleister Crowley drew it. This is an actual real sketch that's done by Aleister Crowley, claiming that this is the demon Lamb that manifested itself to Crowley. Now that looks an awful lot like a gray alien. For example, here's a North Carolina abduction case sketch, and here's the demon that Aleister Crowley drew. Aleister Crowley once said, "Today they call them angels and demons, tomorrow they'll call them something else." But what do I know? I'm just a goofy kid on TikTok. Is the common legend of the Tree of Life real? Did a gigantic tree of life once exist that reached all the way up to the heavens? Now, there being a tree of life that reached to the heavens was actually a common legend found throughout many civilizations. You can find the legend of the Tree of Life in Christianity. The Tree of Life first appears in Genesis 2:9, and in the book of Genesis, the tree is located in the midst of Eden. You can find a tree of life belief in Chinese mythology. You can find this common belief in Iran. You can also find this story in Buddhism, in Islam, Mesopotamia, and many European ancient beliefs such as the ancient Slavs and the ancient Norse. In Norse mythology, they believed in a tree of life known as Yggdrasil. They believed that this powerful, lofty tree reached all the way up to the heavens. This is a belief many cultures held, including Christians. In the Bible, in Daniel's vision, he has a vision of a tree reaching up to the heavens. Thus were the visions of mine in my head. I saw and behold a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height therefore was great. And the tree grew and was strong, and the height therefore reached onto the heaven, and the sight therefore to the end of all earth. As you can see, this was a common held belief in the ancient world. Like for part 2. Did the tree of life exist? Part 2. Go check out part 1 for the full context. Now the question remains, does the tree of life still exist, or has it existed? And if so, what happened to it? According to Daniel's vision in the Bible, God sent a watcher, an angel, to come down and cut the tree of life. And God commanded that the angel leave the stump and its roots in the earth. Now according to the Bible and many other ancient beliefs, the tree of life was located in the midst of the earth. Now if you understand what the ancient people believed about the earth, the midst or middle of the earth would have to be the North Pole. But that's a little strange because I was taught to believe that there is no land whatsoever in the North Pole. That all it is just ice. But the ancient people believed that it was dead center in the middle, in the North Pole. This right here is a 15th century Mercator map showing land in the North Pole. This land shows 4 rivers watering the middle. And in the middle is a mountain known as Mount Meru. Could this be the stump of the tree of life?
Alright, let's go. Time travel conspiracies. Let's go. Marty went into the year 2015. So Biff goes back into the 80s and makes his younger self rich.
He does that.
This is where he gives his younger self the book. Bam! This one, real life, gets weird.
Wrote a book in 1889 and another one 4 years later about young Baron Trump and his adventures through a space-time portal guided by a man called Don, the master of all masters.
I was busy thinking about
the NASA moon landing was fake, bro. I'm 99% sure. Watch this. So right here we have a picture of the first man on the moon. And there's some things about this picture that I'm gonna talk about. First off, where are the stars in the sky? You're in the middle of space. Second off, why is the flag swaying? There's no air or wind in space. Third off, this was a rock found on the moon. It has a C on it, just like a movie prop. Fourth off, this is Neil Armstrong's footprint, the first man on the moon. You see the lines right there? And this is his spacesuit that he wore on the mission. Look at his feet. Them shits do not match. Smooth. Lines. This shit is just obvious, bro. Also, one more thing. But you guys can choose to believe this part or not. But I believe this part. There is this card game that has predicted a whole bunch of events. It was made in 1995. Predicted 9/11, the Pentagon attack, even this. I'm gonna leave you with this.